Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Meta Tuesdays here in Arena Underground. This week we are playing 4-color Esper Friends, meaning Esper Super Friends, but not exactly Esper. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to click that like and subscribe button below. Is a way to support our channel for free. So this list, you probably have played against this. I'm not sure who brewed it for the first time, but it's basically an Esper shell strategy, adding Bolas to the list. That's why we have 4 colors, although mostly we are trying to have Interplanar Beacon on the battlefield. This is it. In order to be able to play our Bolas and our other planeswalkers at the correct time in the curve. So anyway, this list is again very Esper control. If you're going to play it in best of 1 as we are doing in this video, you want to have your protection against aggro, specifically against mono red. So we have 3 copies of Prior of the Carnarium, 2 copies of Ritual Assault, and then we have all of our cool control package with Agonizing Remorse, 2 copies, 4 copies of Thought Erasure, 1 copy of Elder Spell, which is actually very important because it's also a win condition for this deck. Then we have 4 copies of Narcissus, 4 copies of Teferis, 3 copies of Bolas, 2 copies of Liliana. Those are our super friends, our planeswalkers. Then we have 3 copies of Elspeth Conquers Death, which, as you guys know, it's a pretty staple. It's a staple right now in the meta. Best of 3, best of 1, doesn't matter. Then we have 3 copies of Atris, which is actually a very good card in this Esper sort of 4-color shell. Yeah, so you guys are going to see a couple of games. We also have 3 copies of Oath of Kaya. Before I forget, again, this is, against some of these aggro decks, just allowing you to gain some life as well. But you guys know this list pretty well. Esper Control is a deck list that has been played quite a bit, and this edition of Bolas here just adds a little bit of extra fun, which was really required in the past 2 weeks because we are tired of the same decks always being played in the meta. That said, we have Ikoria Lair of Behemoth coming out. Pre-releases, I believe, tomorrow or... well, the release is Thursday. Tomorrow we're going to see a lot of people probably trying out the new cards on stream, and that's going to be pretty cool. But in the meantime, if you guys want to watch and look at this deck and figure out how to update it after Ikoria comes out, that would be awesome. Leave us some comments. We had a lot of fun. We won like 6-1 with this build, and we're going to show you 5 of the best games where people just at some point realized they weren't able to win and conceded. That's how good this deck is, when people just concede. They don't even want to play anymore. In any case, we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. Okay guys, we are playing 4-color Super Friends, or Esper with Bolas, in best of 1 standard this week. And this seems like a keep. We can cast all of these spells except for Oath of Kaya, but if we scry into our white swords, we might be okay. It's nice to have all the, discard spells in hand. Sometimes it doesn't work as well as you'd think, but we're gonna keep Narsa just because we can cast it. Let's see if this is mono red or something. We see a swamp into Cauldron Familiar, so most likely Rakdos Aristocrats. Alright, so we're going to lose a little bit of life here, but we do have 2 Thought Erasure. See what we can find. Yep, our opponent has all the goodies. All the goodies. So we definitely have to take this Dread Horde. Keep the land. At least we can cast our Oath of Kaya next turn. Get rid of that Dread Horde. Yep, there it is. We're going to get hit for 2, but that's fine. We definitely need to get rid of that card. Now, let's see. Do we care about our opponent casting this Priest of the Forgotten? Probably not. At least not right now, so I think it's better to just get rid of this and gain just a little bit of... like, we gain 1 life from this Oath of Kaya, but that's okay. So next turn, I guess we're going to Agonize Remorse to take that Rankle, which could be very bad. Alright, let's look at that. Yep, take that Rankle away. Opponent has another cat. So the thought here is we could maybe find a sweeper with Narset, potentially. And survive. Maybe a Cry of the Carnarium would be awesome to exile these cats. Alright, so that is the plan. We need a sweeper here. And we don't really find it. We get a Liliana, which we're not playing anytime soon. We also don't have enough mana to cast another Elspeth Conquers Death, so we might as well keep Liliana. So let's see if our opponent goes face or if they go Narset. I would like to see them go face. That way we can try to get something with Narset again, but not necessarily what's going to happen here, although they almost have lethal, so maybe they do go for it. Alright, they do go for it. Cool. So they can sack, and... ooh, they don't. Okay. So let's see if we find the sweeper that we need. We do find it. Okay. Very good. So they do get to make a little bit of extra damage here. Now, how can we avoid all of that? So we're going to take... oh, we're not going to take any damage because they tapped their priest. So that's awesome. So I think we could potentially take the 2 damage here. It's not great. We can lose to a Croxa, but ooh, unfortunately we can't cast this Agonizing Remorse. Ugh. Alright, that's not good. So we actually messed up. I was thinking we shock ourselves for Hallow Fountain in order to cast Agonizing Remorse, but obviously I forgot this Agonizing Remorse would make us lose a life. I mean, we can still cast it. We lose a life to get rid of that cat. And then our opponent stop decking, which they could definitely find a threat, but maybe we have another turn to gain some life. I'm not quite sure. They kept it top, so this might be something good. Let's see. We are going to do Agonizing Remorse. We can't really let the cat come down and ping us, so get rid of that. Maybe they left a Witch's Oven on top. Or a Midnight Reaper, okay. Alright, all good things. We get to, I guess, Elspeth Conquers Death. Get rid of Midnight Reaper, hope for the best. We need an untapped land source that doesn't shock us to play Liliana and maybe survive this. So we can't, so I guess we're gonna have to go Narset. Try to find maybe another Oath of Kaya to get a little bit of life back. We just find another Narset. Great, alright, we're gonna keep it. See what their opponent found. Another Midnight Reaper, okay. We get back Narset, that is fine. Loyalty, keep the biggest Narset. Try to find something. I guess Teferi is okay. Teferi plus Thought Erasure seems fine. So play Teferi. Bounce the Midnight Reaper. You could also bounce the Oath of Kaya, but then we can't play it the same turn, so I'm not gonna do that. Alright, we found it. Good. So we get to Thought Erasure, take that from their hand, keep the land, even though it's a shock land, but we need it. We are still at 2. Alright, opponent found a land. That's great. Great. So let's see what else we find with Narset before we decide to play Oath of Kaya. We find another Teferi. Alright, in that case, we do play the Oath because we can bounce the Oath of Kaya with Teferi next turn and maybe kill something that our opponent plays that doesn't have haste. Let's see what they go for. So they have... I didn't think they're... Alright, they make us sacrifice the Oath of Kaya. That's pretty good, I guess. This comes in tapped. We are gonna get rid of Narset to find maybe another Oath of Kaya. We find Nicole Bolas. That's sort of good. I like Nicole. Plus Teferi. Play our Liliana. See if we can get there. We're gonna plus here, of course. Get a zombie. Protect ourselves a little bit. So our opponent has a little bit of mana constraint, although they do find an extra swamp now. So that's going to allow them... Let's see, I think we're gonna cast Narset again. That's going to allow them to, like, if they get a Kroxa, they can bring the Kroxa down and then play it again. So, alright, we're gonna keep the Cry, even though we don't need it right now. We're gonna plus on this Teferi. Attack with this 2/2. Pass the turn. Our Liliana is at 8, so that's good. We can... Alright, they do go with Mayhem Devil. That's not going to ping us right now, so we are fine. Pass. We can Ritual Assault, draw a couple of cards. I like that option. Yeah, let's Ritual Assault, get rid of this Mayhem Devil, which could be a problem. We draw 2 cards with Liliana. Land and land, that's fine. And Oath of Kaya, awesome. Alright, so we're back in business, guys. We get to Oath of Kaya. Ping our opponent, gain 3 life. Bring Oath of Kaya back to our hand. Create a token with Liliana. And our opponent concedes. Good game, Ragdoll's Aristocrats. Okay, guys, we are playing 4-color Super Friends. And, yeah, we're gonna keep this. We have all the discard spells, and we go first, so we get to start discarding some of the good things our opponent has in hand. Hopefully this is not mono-red, because we are not protected against mono-red at the moment. Alright, we get to play our Temple of Deceit. Do we keep Narset or not? I do like Narset, and we can cast her. Alright, we're gonna keep it. We can start scrying with Thought Erasure later and hopefully find the lands that we are lacking for Nicole Bolas. Alright, we see a Gruul land. That's not great. But this could also be like Temur Adventures or one of the Reclamation decks, of course. We are gonna shock now. We need to take a Lucky Clover if that's what our opponent potentially has in hand. They don't, they have other things in hand. Okay. So next turn we're gonna see Season of Growth or Careless Celebrant. I think we take the Season of Growth and let our opponent... We're gonna keep the Agonizing Remorse. I kind of want to take all they have in their hand. Not great, but let's see what they choose to cast here. Either are they going for Season of Growth? They go for Season of Growth, okay. So now we need to get rid of these creature cards. We have another land in hand, so we're definitely gonna take this Gruul Spellbreaker. Get rid of that. Take 1 damage from our Agonizing Remorse. Our opponent plays the Careless Celebrant, draws a card. Or scries instead. Alright, so let's see. We need to be very mindful about this. I think we keep Thought Erasing and just taking these very aggressive cards our opponent has. We are going to keep this land. They're probably going to cast this Rabbit Bite, maybe, just to be able to draw a card here, but they don't. Interesting. So that means we get to Thought Eraser yet again. Opponent must be tired of this. We are going to take the... Guess we take the Return to Nature. Although it's not doing anything right now. This they could just cast, right? Like, huh. Alright, we're gonna keep the Hallow Fountain. Now, we need a red source, of course. We see a land, okay. Opponent does not cast the Rabbit Bite. That is fine. This deals damage. Target creature you don't control. Okay. We're gonna Narset. See what we find. We find Teferi. I like Teferi. Teferi's cool. We can then bounce the Careless Celebrant next turn or something else they play, and then take it from their hand with Agonizing Remorse. Alright, sure. Elspeth Conquers Death, that's okay. We don't have any castable options for Elspeth Conquers Death. I wonder if we just take this Season of Growth. Just because it's gonna allow our opponent to replace their hand. Alright, just gonna see. Good game, Gruul stuff. Alright guys, we are playing 4-color Planeswalkers in best of 1 standard. This hand, it's not great. The problem is having these two interplanar beacons makes it so that we don't have a castable thought erasure on turn 2, and also limits our casting of Cry of the Carnarium, so I wonder if this should be a keep or not. On the other hand, if we do draw a blue source, we might be okay. But not great. I think we're gonna mulligan. We're on the draw, so okay, we're gonna keep this. This is fine. I think we send Liliana away and keep Bolas, since we can cast it earlier than Liliana. I like that. Our opponent's playing a Celestia Temple of Plenty. Alright, Fairy is not bad. We get to Watery Grave tapped. We see Arboreal Grazer, so this is Bant Ramp or something ramp. Lately, I don't know what people are playing in the meta. It's just so many random. This is some sort of absent deck, right? Like some sort of random lists. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Okay, so we need to cast or shock ourselves, I guess, in this case. This is fine because our Boreal Grazer, it's not making any damage to us, so I guess we can do this and take their worst card, which is Pelucranos, because we can kill Kunoros, and Knight of Autumn is not doing much at the moment. We'll take Pelucranos, which is the worst of the bunch. We're going to keep that land. Again, that allows us to cast Bolas on turn 5. Alright, we see the Kunuros. Sure. That is fine, opponent. We are gonna Interplanar Beacon. We could even play Teferi now and draw something. I do like that option much better. Because Teferi is pretty safe at the moment, so we might be able to keep it that way if we get to turn 5 and cast our Bolas. Alright, we see the Kunuros. Short. Alright, so we're gonna plus. We're gonna play a Scryland. We are going to keep Narset, because we like Narset at this point. We're gonna Oath of Kaya to get rid of Kunuros. They can play Knight of Autumn to kill Oath of Kaya, but that's not doing a lot. And then we might be able to Agonizing Remorse to get rid of this Pelucranos. Yep, this is fine, opponent. That is pretty fine. So, one good thing is also, we do have a Bolas that could come down this same turn. So, do we care about that? Pelucranos is not coming down yet. So, I think we go Bolas. And we get rid of Knight of Autumn, allowing us to not have threats here. These are definitely interesting options. Alright, I think I'm going to get rid of the Knight of Autumn. This is fine. If they have Nissa, then they have Nissa. It's not much we can do. They can get rid of both Planeswalkers. Ooh, they have Massacre Girl. That's even perfect. That doesn't get rid of anything. Wow, okay. That's pretty good. We send that land to the bottom. We're gonna plus Bolas here. Fine, Agonizing Remorse. So, I guess we send this Massacre Girl back to their hand, even though Teferi dies. We could play Narset and then play Agonizing Remorse. That sounds pretty fine. They still don't have enough cards for Polukranos, so we don't really need to worry about Polukranos yet. I think we're gonna keep Liliana here, or Elspeth Conquers Death. I think we're gonna keep Liliana. And then Agonizing Remorse to take the best thing from their hand, which is most likely this Bolas Citadel, so... yeah, I think we take that. Cool. Opponent can play this Massacre Girl. That's not going to do much. Or they could play... they don't have enough mana for plain white Celebration, so that's fine. Yep, there's the Massacre Girl. Cool. We got to play another Interplanar Beacon. Find something with Narset. Another Nicole Bolas is fine. We're gonna plus this Nicole Bolas. And our opponent concedes. Yep, we just had it. Good game. Alright guys, we are playing 4-color Super Friends in a Esper shell, of course. You guys have seen this. We are having fun playing this today in Best of 1 Standard, so we are going to keep this hand, I believe. We do have a lot of discard spells plus Teferi, so it could work. Alright, opponent play a Temple of Enlightenment, which means they could be playing Saurius Control, but that means that potentially we're going to keep this. We are definitely going to keep this. That potentially we could Thought Erasure something good from their hand next turn. Alright, we see they pass. Very cool and fine. We are going to do this because we don't want them to play their Teferi. So, Thought Erasure. Let's see what you have, opponent. Glass Casket not doing much. Ashok, oh, they do have 2 Teferis. That is really annoying. So, I mean, Teferi it's not doing much to us at this point. So maybe we just take the Ashok and let these Teferis go to town here. We can take Brazen Bar later on. We're going to keep this Watery Grave now, because it comes down untapped, so we can play Atreus on turn 4. That seems fine enough. They're going to plus, I'm assuming. They don't have to, but they do. So we are just going to play Watery Grave. And we could play our Teferi, could get a bounce back. That's not, I mean, that's fine. I think we do play Teferi. See if our opponent wants to bounce it back. We are going to draw a card. No need to plus here. Narset is fine. Alright, let's see how our opponent plays this out. They're going to plus or minus Teferi. Alright, opponent pluses. Ooh, Elspeth Conquers. The Elder Spell. I actually like that card a lot. So we can pay 2 life. We can plus Teferi. Don't worry, I got this. I would Elder Spell now, right? And then we can stop on our opponent's upkeep and take something of theirs. So we're going to Elder Spell. Get rid of that, submit for 1, our Teferi grows up a bit. We are going to pass the turn, let our opponent draw, play Thought Erasure, see what they found. Brazen Borrower, it's Fairy. Yeah, I think we played Teferi. It's like these Brazen Borrowers, we take Teferi. I think these Brazen Borrowers are not doing much, right? And I think we send Atris, or we maybe we keep Atris, right? Seems like a fine option. Our opponent kills one, we draw one. Let's see what they do. They have a tapped land, so that's good. Means they can't bounce to Fairy and also play Brazen Borrower. So they're most likely going to pass the turn here. Or just do that. Okay. Fine. It's fine with us, opponent. We got to scry first with Temple of the Seed. Keep the land. We keep the land. We need the red source for a lot of things. I think we keep the land. And then we can bounce the Brazen Borrower, draw it, draw that land. Then play Atris. And let our opponent give us some cards here. Okay, 2 lands and 1 card. I don't think we need any more lands. We have enough, so we're going to take this 1 card. It's a cry. I mean, it gets rid of these Brazen Borrowers, so can't really complain about that. We still have an Agonizing Remorse in hand, so that could take care of one of these Borrowers. Or we could just do nothing and play Cry at some point. Yep, play Borrower, sure. Let's see if they bounce something. They don't bounce anything, that's good. Could do that. We could... let's see. First of all, we can attack here first. I think we could play Narset, see what we find. If we find an Oath of Kaya, we get rid of this Brazen Borrower, so... yep, it's not too bad. The Bolas is interesting, but this is fine, I think, for now. We get to get some life back from our opponent, just get rid of one of their cards. Alright, let's see what they do now. So this Glass Casket is not doing much in their hand, that's good. Elspeth Conquers Death, it's a problem, because they have quite a few things they can get back, but... maybe we draw a Bolas before they can actually do anything. They bounce back our Narset and play Omen of the Sea to draw... okay, that makes sense. I mean, it gives us another opportunity to find something with Narset, so I'm not quite sure how good it is, but it's good enough, right? We get to keep plussing to Fairy. We get to attack with our Atris. Opponent goes down to 14. I think we Narset yet again, and then we take something from our opponent's hand next turn. We're gonna keep the Narset, that's fine. Our opponent draws, we play Agonizing Remorse. Let's see what they have. Archon, okay. I guess we can take Archon, let them play this Brazen Borrower that's not doing much. This is fine, we exile that as well, and our opponent concedes. Good game, Azorius control. Alright guys, we are playing... what is this? This is 4-color Super Friends? Alright, we're playing 4-color Super Friends. We are on the play with a sort of a nice hand. We have Teferi and Cry, which protect us, and then later on Narset to find stuff. So we're gonna try this. Alright. Do that, scry Teferi bottom. We don't need another Teferi. I think we need more awesome cards that we can make better plays against whatever our opponent is doing. In this case, they are playing a Godless Shrine. So this could be another like Mirror, Esper, or 4-color Super Friends thing. Oh, okay, sure. Let's go for it. In this case, we don't have a turn to play, so of course we're going to Temple of the Seed again to scry. No more Temple of the Seeds, please. We need more action. We need a discard spell if we are aiming to win against another control type list. We see Ugin's Conjurant. Okay, if damage would be dealt to Ugin's Conjurant, where it has a 1-on-1 counter, prevent that damage and remove that many 1-on-1 counters from Ugin. Okay, interesting. So I guess that is the spell we are going to bounce this turn. Because it doesn't die to Cry of the Carnarium, and that is a problem. Interplanet Beacon, it's fine. We get to gain some life. So we're not going to complain about that. You see Stonecoil Serpent, which has protection against multicolor, as a 1-1, and then Ugin's Conjurant as a 1-1 as well. So it protects it. So now Cry does work, right? Because this protects from... You remove that many 1-on-1 counters. Okay, so we deal 2 damage, but they can only remove 1 counter, so that seems fine. I think we Cry here to keep our Teferi alive. That seems fair. Alright. Yep, these both die. Go to exile. We pass the turn. Opponent doesn't have any more land drops. Cruel Celebrant. That's something we can kill with Oath of Kaya, so that's fine with us. I guess we play this tapped. We plus Teferi. Play Oath of Kaya. Get rid of Cruel Celebrant, we get pinged for 1, drained in this case. Your opponent is playing some Orsov list, interesting enough here. Multicolor protected, cool. So, what are our options? I guess just Narset and... Yeah, this is pretty good against us, meaning that we have a lot of removal in the multicolor spectrum, so... I guess we keep Liliana just because we need removal. Not ideal, but our opponent is at 2 land. They play their 3rd tap land, which is Temple of Silence, so that's fine. If we draw another land, which we could if they wouldn't attack the Teferi, but they did attack the Teferi, so that's that. I guess we can play the other Teferi, right? And just do that. So as I was saying, so many people playing random decks this week before Ikoria comes out. It's just, I mean, it's cool, it's interesting, but at the same time, it gets a little bit annoying sometimes. Although it is good for playing 4-color Super Friends because it's a shell that mostly wins against any generic non-meta deck, specifically mono red is a problem for us, but anything else is sort of fine. We're going to trigger Narset, and Ritual Assault I like. Ritual Assault I like a lot. So we get to plus the Teferi yet again. Play Ritual Assault, which will get rid of this Stonecoil Serpent. That allows us to keep our Planeswalkers safe for now. Let our opponent do something with these 3 lands. Hopefully not another Stonecoil Serpent, because we are having a hard time getting rid of that. There's 1 in the graveyard, 1 in exile. Midnight Reaper is okay. We can definitely get rid of that. We could actually bounce that if we want it. Or... They're Orsov, so I don't think they have anything that's... Definitely interesting options here. I think we do go ahead and play Nicole, and it's just... Yep, our opponent concedes. Good game, Orsov something.
That was all for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and click the bell icon if you want to get notified whenever we upload new videos. Have a good one.